So I've just come home from being out and I had this experience that I want to share, because the TLDR of it, before you even get into the story, is random men, please don't come up to me and invite yourself to talk to me while I'm drawing alone with headphones on in a coffee shop. Not that hard, but let me set the scene. I'm sitting in my favorite local coffee shop. It's a little bit out of the way, so it's not that busy, even on peak times. It's not a Starbucks because I'm not giving money to a corporation. It's a smaller, like, company that has chains, but it's not global conglomerate coffee company capitalism thing. So I'm sitting down. It's not busy. There's like me, two girls, some people over there, and the staff, and then this guy comes in and sits down. And I have my headphones on and I'm listening to David Tennant's podcast, which is fantastic and I think you should listen to it. But I'm listening to the episode of him with Michael Sheen because I recently finished Good Omens, which is fantastic. You should also watch that. And this guy is watching me draw, and like, I'm used to this because in a coffee shop, when you're sitting alone, someone else is sitting alone, people have a tendency to look at you and maybe even tell you that they think what you're drawing is cool or interesting or whatever, which, like, fine, I'm flattered. And also I'm deeply aware of everything happening around me in a 10 to 12 foot radius. So I'm aware of people looking at me, and I know this guy who sits down next to me is watching me draw hands, because I'm doing hand study. I love to draw hands. They are cool. Like, I love a good hand study, and I've already made several videos for veju of drawing hands because I just think hands are cool. So, as some people will do, he says that he likes what I'm drawing and he asks me about art, and I'm like, okay, cool. It's gonna be a short conversation because I don't want to be mean or cruel or rude, so I take my headphones off, pause my podcast, and like, I'm talking to him, and he says something along the lines of, oh, you know that experts think that language or written language comes from like something to do with hands and communication and whatever. And like, one, in the Western world maybe, two, I do know about this because while doing my art portfolio, two of the buzzwords I ended up using were communication and navigation, and as I like to research a little bit, none of it ended up being relevant to what I ended up doing, but I fell down a linguistics hole. And like, I know a lot about hands and communication, the sociological history of communication, with some sort of awareness of hands. I like history, I like research, and I like hands, so I know about it. But then he, like, over the course of an hour, he will like interrupt me. Like, we'll talk for a few minutes and then the conversation will peter out, and I'll put my headphones back on and I'll resume my podcast. And then he'll think of something else to say after maybe a few minutes of me listening to my podcast again. And I kind of don't want to be rude, don't want to be cruel, don't really know this guy, so I don't want to be rude to him in case he tries to kill me when I leave the coffee shop or follow me home or some shit, because that's the reality I live in. And he like keeps adding to this conversation that we're apparently having, and like, he's basically mansplaining something I've already told him I know about. He's asking me about art and like your hands, and like saying about piano players and their hands, and I'm like countering all those arguments with, yeah, I know, actually, like, I have friends who are piano players and their hands are really interesting and blah blah blah. And like, he keeps mansplaining something I've already told him I know about to me. And like, granted, this is a guy who starts this conversation, and the staff are kind of watching us in a way, and I don't think I put out signals of being kind of like, please help me. Like, I wasn't doing that because I could handle myself. I was just kind of trying not to make this guy annoyed. And he like goes on this weird tangent about how people's faces change and how people's nose change, and I just kind of feel like he was on a lot of drugs, and like, I just didn't want to be having the conversation. And basically my point is, if you see me sitting at a coffee shop with my headphones on, drawing, you can tell me that you like my art, but just leave me alone. If I'm alone, just presume that I want to be alone, and then don't keep explaining to me when I told you the answer to the question and then you repeat my own answer back to me as if you knew you were the one telling me the answer. Men, don't talk to me. No, just don't do that, as a fair warning, because I just wanted to draw. I did eventually leave because he made me kind of uncomfortable. I'd been there for about 2 hours already, so it wasn't like I was like being pushed out having just arrived, but please, please, just stop. Please just leave me alone. I just want to draw hands. So yeah, TLDR, men don't talk to me in coffee shops. I don't understand. And like, I don't want to be rude in case he tries to murder me and my family, or he follows me home. So like, please just leave me alone. Stop having conversations where I tell you I know the answer and then explain my own answer back to me. It's really not that hard. Just when I have headphones on, don't talk to me unless you absolutely need to, and then giving your opinion is not a need. That's all I've got for today. That's a lovely little story about leave me the fuck alone. I'll see you tomorrow, and